Welcome to Smart Listening Lab, a channel for learning English through podcasts. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really diving into practical English for airports, all those terms and phrases you hear. Our sources are all focused on making that whole airport experience, smoother, less stressful, hopefully. So our mission today is pretty clear. Equip you with the essential airport vocabulary, the communication tips, so you feel, confident when you travel.
Exactly. Think of it as your airport language toolkit. And the first thing, honestly, is active listening, even if you don't catch everything.
Active listening, okay.
Yeah, just listening for those key words. Things like gate, boarding, obviously passport, security, and maybe less welcome, delayed. Just hearing those can give you the main idea of what's going on.
Right, so it's not about understanding every single word perfectly.
Not at all. It's more about context. Like you hear your flight number and then the word delayed.
Okay.
Even if you miss Y or the new time straight away, you know something's changed.
Right, you need to find out more.
Exactly. It prompts you to act, and it helps manage that initial bit of panic or anxiety.
That makes sense. But what if you really miss something? Or you just don't understand an instruction? Is it okay to ask?
Oh, absolutely. You really should. Airport staff, they deal with people from all over the world, all different languages.
True.
A simple, polite, "Excuse me, could you please repeat that?" works wonders. Or even, "Could you explain what liquids over 100 milliliter means?"
The liquids rule. Yes.
Asking that question could literally save you having to throw things away at security. So, yeah, clarity is better than feeling a bit awkward for a second.
Okay, so confidence to ask is important. And building on that, what about having some phrases sort of ready to go, in your back pocket?
That's a really smart move. Just having a couple of key phrases memorized, like the classic, "Where is gate?" and then your gate number.
Simple, but effective.
Very. It lets you get that critical information quickly, right when you need it. Cuts through the noise.
And when you are speaking, say, asking that question, any tips for making sure you're understood? Airports can be noisy.
Definitely. Try to speak clearly, maybe a touch slower than usual, and really enunciate.
Enunciate.
Yeah, just making sure each word is distinct. It might feel a bit unnatural, but it really helps, especially if the person you're talking to isn't a native English speaker either.
Good point.
So saying clearly, "What is the gate for flight 2-6?" is much better than mumbling it quickly.
Right. Makes total sense. What about nonverbal stuff? Can that help?
Oh, hugely. Visual cues are great. Don't underestimate pointing.
Okay.
Seriously. Pointing to your boarding pass, maybe the flight number on it, or pointing to a sign while asking a question, it bridges gaps.
So holding up my pass and pointing to the gate number, asking this gate.
Precisely. It cuts out so much potential confusion. Very direct.
And of course, we have technology these days, translation apps.
Yeah, they can be lifesavers. Having something like Google Translate, especially if you download the offline pack for the language you need, is really useful.
For complex things.
Exactly. Maybe understanding a tricky customs rule or a detailed announcement. But, be aware they're not always perfect for fast back-and-forth conversation. Simple, clear English is still your best bet most of the time.
Okay, great general strategies. Let's dig into the specific words now. Starting before you even get to the airport, maybe. Planning phase stuff like check-in.
Right.
Yeah.
Check-in. It's basically confirming you're taking the flight. You'd say something like, "I'd like to check in for my flight to London."
And luggage comes into this, right?
Yep. You'll often deal with bags then. They might ask if you have checked baggage.
Checked baggage. Those are the big ones going underneath.
Exactly. The ones going in the cargo hold. Knowing if you need to check bags is key, partly because of fees. So asking, "Do I have any checked baggage?" if you're unsure about your ticket type is good.
Okay. And the bags you keep with you.
Those are your carry-on bags, or sometimes hand luggage. You might want to ask, "Is this okay as a carry-on bag?" Just to be sure it meets the size limits.
To avoid problems later at the gate.
Precisely. You don't want them taking it off you at the last minute because it's too big for the overhead bin.
And seats. You often choose those around check-in time, too.
You do. That's your seat preference. They'll ask window seat or aisle seat. Knowing the vocabulary just helps you get what you prefer for comfort.
Window or aisle. Got it.
Yeah.
After check-in, you get the all-important boarding pass. What should you look for in that?
Okay, the boarding pass is crucial. Two main things to find immediately. Your gate number, that's where you have to actually board the plane.
Gate number.
And your boarding time. That's when they actually start letting people onto the plane. Not the departure time, the boarding time.
Good distinction. Boarding time. Knowing those helps you plan where to go and when.
Exactly. And speaking of where to go, in big airports, you need the terminal.
Right, different buildings or huge sections.
Yeah. So a vital question might be, which terminal is my flight? You need that before you even start looking for security or gates.
Don't want to end up in the wrong building entirely.
Definitely not. That's a recipe for stress.
Okay, so you found the right terminal, you're inside the main area, the departure hall. What's next?
Well, if you haven't checked in online or need to drop bags, you look for the check-in counters or check-in desks,
Counters or desks?
usually grouped by airline. So asking staff which counter for British Airways or stating my flight number is BA 286 helps them point you in the right direction.
And if you did check in online but have bags to check,
Then you look for the baggage drop, often a separate, faster queue just for leaving your checked luggage.
baggage drop, makes sense. After that, security.
Yep, the security checkpoint, or just security. This is where the screening happens.
And lots of instructions here usually.
Oh, yes. Be prepared to hear things like, please remove all electronics from your bag.
Yeah.
Take off your shoes and belt. The famous liquids 100 milliliter rule.
Right, everything out.
Laptop out of the bag is a very common one.
Mhm.
And any metal objects,
Yeah.
like keys or coins in your pockets.
And listening and following these quickly helps everyone, doesn't it? Keeps the line moving.
Massively. Understanding laptop out and doing it right away just smooths the whole process. It avoids delays, avoids getting your stuff pulled aside for extra checks.
Okay, through security, sometimes you walk through a duty-free shop.
Often, yes. The duty-free shop. That's where you can buy goods like perfume or alcohol without certain taxes, because technically they're for export.
Ah, okay. Then finding the specific place to wait for the plane.
That's your gate, the specific door you'll board through. So asking, what gate is my flight to Paris, is key.
And sometimes gates change.
They do. Keep an ear out or watch the screens for gate change announcements. That means you need to find a new gate.
Right, a gate change means pay attention and find the new location on the screens. Don't just sit at the old one.
Definitely not. Check the departure boards immediately if you hear that.
So you're at the right gate, waiting. What happens when it's time to get on?
You'll hear boarding announcements. It might start with priority groups, like now boarding group 1,
Group 1, okay.
and then listen carefully for the final call for flight number. That's the urgent one. It means they're about to close the gate.
Final call. Hurry up. Where do people wait before their group is called?
That area near the gate is called the boarding area, or sometimes a specific lounge if you have access.
And if you need help finding something while waiting?
Look for an information desk. You can ask general questions there like, where's the nearest restroom or toilet? Or even planning ahead, where can I find a taxi stand for when you land?
Good tip. Now, shifting to arrival, especially internationally, you encounter customs and immigration.
Yes. First, usually immigration for passport control. They'll ask you your passport. Passport, please.
Standard questions, too.
Usually. Things like purpose of your visit.
Yeah.
You might say tourism or business, and how long will you be staying? Just have simple answers ready.
Okay. And after immigration, getting those checked bags back.
That's baggage claim or baggage reclaim. You need to find the right conveyor belt, which is called a carousel.
Carousel, right?
Look at the screens there. They'll show which carousel for flight number.
And if your bag doesn't show up,
Unfortunately, it happens. You'll need to find the baggage services office and report it. The phrase is simply, my bag is missing.
hopefully not needed, but good to know. Okay, let's move on to the plane itself. Who are the staff on board?
They're generally called flight attendants. You might still hear steward or stewardess sometimes, but flight attendant is the most common term now.
Flight attendants, and they help with bags.
Yes, finding space for your carry-on in the overhead bin or overhead locker.
Overhead bin, got it. What about things at your seat?
You'll have the tray table that folds down. Crucially, the seat belt. You'll hear fasten your seatbelt often
Especially for...
for takeoff and landing,
Mm-hmm.
the start and end of the flight, and also if there's turbulence.
Ah, yes, turbulence, those bumps.
Exactly, caused by air currents. They'll usually announce if they expect it, and the seatbelt sign will come on. It's normal. Just follow the instructions.
Good to know. And safety briefings always mention.
Emergency exits. They'll ask you to locate your nearest emergency exit. Important to actually do that.
True. And the onboard toilet.
That's usually called the restroom, or sometimes the lavatory.
Restroom or lavatory. Okay. Now, thinking about problems, things don't always run smoothly. What if your flight is delayed or canceled?
Right. If that happens, find an airline representative quickly. Key phrases are, my flight is delayed, or my flight is canceled. followed by what are my options?
Options, good one.
Yeah, and when is the next available flight? You need to understand your alternatives for rebooking.
Makes sense. And just general navigation, getting lost in a huge airport.
Asking for directions is essential. Polite phrases work best. Excuse me, how do I get to gate 25? Or maybe, is this the way to the baggage claim?
Simple and direct. We mentioned announcements earlier, but just to recap, what are the absolute key things to listen for in those?
Okay, the must-listens are your specific flight number, the gate number, the boarding time, definitely last call,
Yeah.
and the less happy ones, delayed or canceled. Tuning into those words is critical.
Flight number, gate, boarding time, last call, delayed, canceled. Got it. And if, despite everything, you just don't understand someone,
Don't panic. Use phrases to manage it. Could you speak more slowly, please? It's always helpful.
slow down, please.
Or could you write that down? If it's complex information like a new flight number, even just, I don't understand, and asking, what does specific word mean?
Good toolkit for confusion.
Okay.
Okay, let's finish with some really practical, actionable tips. You mentioned the airline app.
Yes. Download your airline's app. It's often the fastest way to get real-time updates, gate changes, delays, boarding notifications right to your phone.
Personalized info. Nice. What about the big screens everywhere?
Absolutely use them. The airport display screens, the departure boards, they offer clear visual confirmation of your gate, boarding time, and flight status like on time or delayed. Easier than catching announcements sometimes.
Good point. Visual confirmation. And the pointing thing again, with the boarding pass.
Yeah, I'll mention it again because it works. When talking to staff, just point to your flight number or destination on your boarding pass. It eliminates potential mistakes if accents are difficult or it's noisy.
Reduces error.
Mm,
And
yeah.
practicing a bit beforehand.
It really helps confidence. Just saying common questions out loud like, where is the restroom, a few times before you go makes it feel less daunting when you actually need to ask.
Builds confidence, makes sense. And a general piece of advice we often hear.
Arrive early. Give yourself plenty of time. It reduces so much stress. Long security line, unexpected gate change. If you have time, it's manageable. If you're rushing, it's awful.
So true. Extra time is buffer time. Any other little tricks? You can observe other passengers, see what they're doing. Are they taking shoes off? That probably means you're at security. It's like visual cues from the crowd.
Learn by watching. Good one. And knowing who to ask for help.
Yeah, look for uniforms or official badges, people at information desks, airline staff at counters or gates, as someone who looks like they work there, not just a random person.
Makes sense. Ask official staff.
Okay.
Yeah, great tips. So wrapping this up, it really feels like understanding this specific airport language, these terms, these strategies, it can genuinely make travel less stressful, right?
Absolutely. It boosts your confidence, reduces anxiety, knowing what boarding means, knowing how to ask for your gate, knowing what to listen for, it puts you more in control.
That active listening, asking questions when needed, having a few phrases ready, seems key.
Those are the core things, yes. They make a huge difference to the whole experience.
So maybe think about your next trip. Which of these words or tips we discussed might be the most useful for you personally? And that leads to maybe a final thought to ponder. Consider how mastering even a small set of this specialized vocabulary, this airport language, gives you that sense of control in an unfamiliar place. It's empowering.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what other languages, what other specialized sets of vocabulary might be useful for you to explore in other areas of your life where you want to feel more confident and at ease?
Thanks for tuning in. Keep practicing, and for more English lessons, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.